Welcome back to the Kovacs Report for some more honest, very honest comic book reviews. And we're going to take a look at my favourite character of all time, the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this is issue 2. Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz have taken on this new volume as we forge ahead to 1,000 legacy issues. And this is shortly after Joe Kelly did a little 8 Deaths of Spider-Man sort of bridge gap between the worst run of all time, which is Zeb Wells, and this run. And now 8 Deaths of Spider-Man was very, very forgettable. So people did not have a lot of hopes for this title. Neither did I. But anyway, issue one popped out, and it wasn't too bad. In fact, I did a review of it. It was middle of the road. I think it did what an issue 1 would do, which is sort of introduce this writer's version of the character, set a few plot points up, and introduce us some new characters. And one of those being a Brian Nering, which is one of Peter's oldest school friends, which we've never heard of before, but to facilitate the plot, he's been brought back into action. So, quick recap of issue 1. Peter's down his luck, of course, as usual, the Parker luck. He's gone through many, many job interviews, being laughed out of the office this summer, and he's finally landed a job at Rand. And that is, again, down to Brian Nering, who's put a good word in for him because Peter needs it. And they're best buds, and they're chummy, and they're back-patting, and it's all very friendly. Anyway, of course, on Peter's first day, the Rhino starts rampaging through the city. And during Peter's orientation, he has to make his excuses like he does, run out of the building and save the day. Now, after dropping a big van on top of the Rhino and the Rhino having a heart attack, surviving, Peter discovers that the Rhino wasn't acting the way he normally does. Usually you can reason with him, but in this case, you couldn't. So he investigates the Rhino's apartment to find out that something isn't right. Add to that his friend Rob Robertson saying that people live in the same area have also been experiencing some out of character things. Peter realizes something's going on, and we learn at the end through little panels with the Hobgoblin and some mystery villain that this is all down to them and them chemically unbeknownst to the people and the Rhino, adding chemicals to their blood system and messing them up for some reason we don't know yet. We're going to find out. So that brings us to this issue. Now, Pepe Larraz has done a great job of the art in this book. I've got to say, it's really, really nice. The coloring's cool. Everything's good. I didn't kind of like some of the cutesy look of the characters, but you know what? It's growing on me. It is really lovely, lovely, lovely art. You can't complain. He's done the best he can with the script that he has. So we start off with this. What we find out is this weird hallucinogenic fueled fever dream that Peter's having. And we're sort of treated to these dynamic panels all the way through it. Really make you feel like something is off, where he's fighting all of his classic villains like the Lizard, Kraven the Hunter. You've got Carnage there. The whole Sinister Six turn up, and there's this big battle. As you can see, those panels I was on about. He's done a really good job. You can really feel the action superimposed with what's actually happening in real life. So we've got these red panels which are showing what Spidey's seeing. And in the full color panels, we're seeing what's actually happening in real life. So, Pete is going on a rampage through the city here, smashing cars up because he thinks he's fighting all these villains. Suddenly he snaps out of it and he finds himself back at Rand. And he's not sure what's going on. Was it a dream? I don't know. And he realizes that he is making a very bad impression in front of his new boss. And I'm going to skip back to find her name, which is Maria Osmani Milton. Now, she is not impressed by Peter, and she lets him know. Anyway, we're introduced to what they're doing at Rand. It's some experiments with this, that, and the other. I'm sure it will come into play later on. And his good old buddy, like I say, his buddy who's helped him get the job. He's there, being this kooky friend, like they've been best friends forever. And he introduces Peter to what he does there, which is bioengineering. See, even I can't get it right. So anyway, mushrooms, he's figuring stuff out, mushrooms, to do some good in the world, which will obviously be turned into something bad eventually, because he's eventually going to be a villain, right? It always happens. Anyway, Peter's still feeling a bit funny. He's having these weird moments, and we get these flashbacks to Peter's sort of really, really early years, sort of pre-Amazing Fantasy 15. So this is a thing Joe Kelly has come out to say that is going to play a part in his arc or arcs, where he wants to discover, what made Peter Peter. Now, sentiment is split on this. I'm not interested in it. I don't care. I mean, here we see, Peter shoplifting, getting into trouble that a lot of kids get into. Nothing different from majority of kids in the UK where I am. Crikey, they start even earlier than that. But again, I think it's to show that he's going on this journey. He was going down the wrong path. His friend here that's got him this job was actually quite a bad influence to him in those days as well. Aunt May still doesn't like the guy, and she lets Peter know that in issue 1. But again, I think we could do without them. It doesn't really interest me, but it is what it is. Anyway, Peter suddenly finds himself on the top of Rand Enterprises building, screaming, doesn't know what's going on, and he's attacked by the Green Goblin. But no, is he? No, it's another one of these hallucinogenic, weird mind mist things that's going on. And as he snaps out of it and he finds that it's actually Norman Osborn, and I'm not sure because maybe I've missed something in the previous arcs with Zeb Wells, but I don't know why Osborn is at Rand. Someone will tell me in the comments. I'll look it up later and find out. And he kind of, I don't know, saves Peter from falling off the top of the building and says, you need to take the day off. Maybe he's running Rand as well. I can't remember. Anyway, we're then shown the Hobgoblin chatting to some sort of shadowed villain. Now, I tell you what, these pages I really, really like. Joe Kelly's really done a good job of these panels. I love the fact that we're just watching the feet and we're getting little hints of who this other villain is while they're talking, and we get in these little snapshots of what's going on. Like, you've got all the scientists attached to it. I take it bombs, the dead bodies. This is done really, really well. I really, really enjoy this moment here. And then we get this big explosion. They've blown this building up. Food and Drug Administration. They've blown up for some reason. Anyway, back to Peter, and we find out that he's actually been gassed. Maybe the gas was in the Rhino's apartment when he went to visit it, and he shows Peter what he got up to while he was in this hallucinogenic dream thing. And he decides, right, well, I better go to Ravencroft, where the Rhino was, to find out what's going on. And he gets there, and of course Shay, his on probation girlfriend, is there, and I think works there, and her friend has allowed Spider-Man to come and have a little bit of an investigation to find out maybe what happened to the Rhino while he was there. Can we get more of these flashbacks? Peter as a young child in the aftermath of being caught by the police for shoplifting, and Aunt May telling him off for hanging out with that Nering boy. Again, I don't know if it's adding anything to the story. I'm not really interested. I'm really not interested. I mean, there's enough Spider-Man out there that we understand where Spidey came from, how Peter became Peter. I don't really see these moments. I don't think they ruin anything. I don't think that they're opposite of what I expect the character to have been back then. Because, like I say, kids got in trouble. I got in trouble. I was a good boy though. I got in trouble a few times. Anyway, while he's there, something goes crazy, and Pete, or rather Spider-Man, runs to find out what's going on. Then there's a big, big, big noise at Ravencroft, and he finds ITSY BITSY on top of the Rhino, right? Because she's been ordered to go and kill him. Now, this is very much the same as Zeb Wells, who brought back one of his obscure characters that he sort of created years ago into a run. It didn't work very well. And this is kind of Joe Kelly doing the same thing. This is something Joe Kelly character created years ago, I think, in some little mini series or something, and never been seen or heard of. Now suddenly it's back. Now, does she look cool? Yes, she does. But I'm just not sure. It works, because this character, I did a bit of research and I've tried to find the run. I couldn't find it. She's so powerful. I don't understand how the Hobgoblin is controlling her, unless this gas that he's got or some kind of control, because this character can completely destroy the Hobgoblin. So I don't know why she's subservient to him. Anyway, it was I don't know, it was supposed to be the big reveal at the end, and it didn't stoke my fire at all. I was just like, okay. Again, it's not a bad book by any means. The art definitely saves it. I mean, the art is really, really starting to grow on me. I love it. I love how he textures it and shades things. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. You know what? Let's see where it goes. All right, it can't be bad. It can't be any worse than Zeb Wells' run. But all in all, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take care.